Hello everyone, my name is Mr. E, and thank you for joining me as I continue my journey to teaching math for conceptual understanding. This is part 2 of a video where I discuss parts of an MYP unit plan. Before I get started, I want to just remind you why I'm doing this. Well, I'm a teacher just like you are, and I need support. I know you need support. So my goal is to share my experiences to support your successful shift to teaching math for conceptual understanding. That's right. Share, support, success. Now that that's been said, let's make shift happen. All right. So what I want to do is quickly go over what I went over in video 1. So recap, we're talking about the inquiry section of the MYP Unit Planner inquiry, establishing the purpose of the unit. Oops, I forgot to start my clock. I said 5 minutes, right? 5 minutes. All right, let's go. So the key concept, two related concepts, put those two together and we get our conceptual understanding. But that's the relationship between the key and related concepts, not just putting them together. And then we incorporate a global context exploration, not the global context. That's too broad. We want the global context exploration, and we get our statement of inquiry, or SOI. Come on, pen right. All right, SOI. Now, from that, we're going to create some inquiry questions. What? Factual. Why, how? Conceptual. Provocative question, debatable. The key part here is that these questions are not math related. They're general questions. Why? Because we're going to share this part of our MYP unit planner with other teachers teaching other subjects. And we want them to see how they can connect with us so we can hopefully create an interdisciplinary unit plan or some interdisciplinary activities. All right, that's video 1. Let's talk about this video. We'll finish up the inquiry section of MYP Unit Planner. All right, so first thing to look at is objectives. So we have our subject group objectives and specific relevant strands. So as our subject group, I'm going to focus on investigating patterns. And here's the strand I want to focus on. Describe patterns as general rules consistent with findings. So we're going to actually see if students can do this. We're going to assess them on this. Well, in order to assess them on this, we want to be fair. So we want to teach them to skills to be successful in that. This is where the approach to learning come in, or ATL. We're going to identify specific skills that they're going to have to develop to be successful, right, in that strand. So we're going to align the strand with the skill. We're going to teach this skill implicitly and explicitly. So if you can fill out this sentence here, you got it going on. For students to objective strand, students can, must, ATL skill. What am I talking about? All right, so here's an example. For students to do that thing we talked about, describe patterns of general rules consistent with findings, they must be able to, here's a skill, draw reasonable conclusions and generalizations. Now, there's a whole document with all these in there. I'll show it to you a little later. So now we have figured out what we're going to assess them on, describe patterns as general rules consistent with findings, and we're going to teach them how to do that, draw reasonable conclusions and generalizations, ATL. And again, we'll go into more detail about that later on in the plan. All right, 2 more minutes left. So the summative assessment. We want authentic assessments, and I have a video on that, authentic versus traditional. I'll put the link down at the bottom. I'm going to use a GRASS task in this case. GRASS stands for goal, role, audience, situation, product performance, and standards and criteria for success. So we have to list our objective strands. What are we going to measure? I'm going to give you this task, and you're going to see how I'm going to grade it, like a rubric, if you will. Now, we have to bring all this together. Remember, we had that statement of inquiry. We want to show here, well, how is this GRASS task going to help the students understand that SOI we talked about earlier, right? So all these things are connected. All these things are connected. And it all goes back to making sure that students understand math conceptually. All right, so this is just a wrap up here, kind of see it all in one spot. You have the objectives, what we're going to measure them on, the skills we're going to teach them to be successful, the task they're going to complete, with, again, our objective strands. And why and how does this task help them understand that SOI that was up here? Okay? All right, hope that's not too confusing. So anyway, here are some of the resources where I got all the information from. And that's it. Got 30 seconds, so I made it. All right, so those are the 5 sections. Go back and watch video 1 if you haven't seen it. If I move too fast on this one, go back and watch this one. Now, here's the question I really want to answer. Did a shift happen? Did you learn anything new in that video? Are you moving closer to being able to teach math conceptually? I hope the answer is yes. If it is, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and if you get time, go check out my website, teachconceptualmath.com. Appreciate it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's 5 minutes. Talk to you soon.